Everybody, it's Jordan, and welcome to the Sports Through Hine Show. In this video, I want to be doing an off-season review and a through-run mock draft for the Denver Broncos. The Denver Broncos had a very interesting off-season. They bring in a new head coach in Sean Payton and signed several top free agents during free agency. I want to be talking about that. So looking at some of these off-season moves here for the Denver Broncos, they signed offensive tackle Matt McGlinchey. I feel like this was a good signing for Denver, but they overpaid him. I feel like a decent amount of bit. They signed him for a 5-year deal worth $87.5 million. I don't think he's worth that money. It's great to help your offensive line and protect Russell Wilson, but that's just way too much money in my opinion. Russell Wilson this past season, this was his first year in Denver. And last year, he was sacked more than any other quarterback in Broncos history in a single season. Getting an offensive line improvement in the offseason was really an essential thing that the Broncos had to do. They did that by getting McGlinchey, but 17 per year for McGlinchey, I just feel like he's not worth it. They also improved the offensive line by getting Ben Powers. This was also another overpay, in my opinion. Ben Powers signed a 4-year deal worth the Denver Broncos for $52 million. I said on multiple videos, talking about free agency, players, who are free agents. Ben Powers was one of the most underrated players on the free agent market. His price range appeared it was going to be around 8 to 10, but the Broncos gave him 13 a year. Ben Powers played over 1,000 offensive snaps last year for the Baltimore Ravens, and he did not allow a single sack. He was great last year for Baltimore. I feel like this is a good signing for the Broncos, but I feel like they paid him just a tad bit more than what he should have got. But, I mean, the Broncos offensive line, all of a sudden, it is very, very impressive, and there's no reason it should be as bad as it was last year. Expect the offensive line for Denver to be much improved this upcoming season. They also signed edge rusher Zach Allen. This was another extremely, extremely overpaid. This signing to me makes absolutely no sense. I don't like this signing at all. I think it's one of the worst signings of free agency. Zach Allen, he was, maybe going to go back to Arizona. I know lots of Cardinals fans wanted him to stay in Arizona, but he signed a 3-year deal worth $45 million with the Denver Broncos. When you look at Zach Allen the last 2 years, he has 9.5 sacks and 15 tackles for loss. He's making $15 million per season when he's only had 15 tackles for loss the last 2 years. I don't know what the Broncos see in him. I feel like he has potential. He's improving the last couple of years, but that type of money is just ridiculous for a guy who's not even a top 10 edge rusher. Another signing they did was Samaje Perine. I actually really, really liked this signing for Denver. I was very surprised he did not end up staying with Cincinnati. Last year, Perine had a career year. You can make a case he was the better running back than Joe Mixon last year for Cincinnati. Being a Bengals fan, watching Perine play, he was very good, had over 600 total yards and 6 touchdowns. Had a 100-yard performance against Kansas City last year when he needed to play. They put him in. He played pretty well. But, they signed him on a 2-year deal worth just over $7 million. But I feel like that, signing there was really, really good there for the Denver Broncos to get some more help at running back. But overall, when you look at the Broncos offseason moves, they signed guys who could really, help their team this year. But they could have signed those guys and still have money left over to sign another guy who could help them this upcoming season. Like I said, McGlinchey, he's good, but that was overpay. Zach Allen, an extremely overpay. Ben Powers, he was great last year, but it's an overpay. For whatever reason, the Broncos just kind of fixated on those guys, and it seemed like they were going to give them more money than any other team was willing to give. But it's a very interesting offseason for the Broncos, to say the least. And when you're looking at this Broncos draft here, doing a through-run mock draft from Pro Football Network, this is a simulator, so there might be players dropped, there might be players picked earlier than expected. But the Broncos do not have a first-round pick, and the Broncos do not have a second-round pick either. The Broncos have 2 third-round picks, and they're actually back-to-back 67th overall and 68th overall. With their third-round pick, I have no idea how this guy was available. The odds of him being here at 67 are about probably 2%. They take Elijah Cansey, the defensive tackle from Pittsburgh, best player available without question, and the Broncos get him here. This is go ahead and call this a steal of the draft. That would be an insane pickup for the Denver Broncos, taking him to the 67th pick overall, but I would expect him to be gone way before this pick. I know some people are concerned about his arm size. That's the only reason why I think he can maybe drop a little bit. but to the third round, I feel like it's kind of pushing it there. But I take him there with the 67th pick overall, and with the 68th pick, they take Miami, Florida cornerback Tyreek Stevenson. This is another guy who I would expect to be gone by this pick, but if he is, that's also one of the best steals of the draft of the Broncos. They were able to get him there. Tyreek Stevenson, a corner from Miami, who's kind of going up some draft boards as of late. I could see him maybe being a top 40, top 45 pick or so. But when you're looking at this Broncos draft here, they did not have a first-round pick, did not have a second-round pick, but they really hit it out of the ballpark by getting two really first-round talent players in the third round, taking Elijah Cansey, the defensive tackle from Pittsburgh, and Miami, Florida corner Tyreek Stevenson. But overall, this offseason for the Denver Broncos, I don't know. Like, I feel like this Broncos team can be really good. They should have been good this past year. Just everything went wrong for them. I would expect to be much improved and contention to be in the playoffs this season in the AFC. I don't think they'll be in contention to win the AFC West. I still think that is going to be the Chiefs this year. Be very interested to see, Sean Payton's first year with Denver. Comment your thoughts on the Broncos offseason. Comment who you want the Broncos to draft. The draft is just a couple weeks away. That about does it for this video. If you're new to the channel or if you've seen my videos before, I would really, really appreciate it if you like this video and subscribe to my channel. Thank you all so much for watching, and we'll see you all next time on the Sports Stu Hines Show.